Well, let's get that side of the story from Alex in the Cube.
Isabel, here it is. Here's the report that people waited months and months to get their hands on. And while it might look chunky, there are whole pages of it that are redacted away because of national security issues. So what exactly is in this report? Well, we've gone through it in the Cube, breaking down some of the key claims so you can avoid the 55 pages that do exist. And first of all, there's a whole section on influence and disinformation. Really key here. They're saying Russia shares, spreads fake, distorting, distracting information. They're involved in illicit funding of particular causes, not always to benefit themselves, but just to sow discord in other countries. They go on to say at the bottom, there's a hack and leak tactic. We saw that, of course, with the DNC emails in the United States. So if this is the toolkit identified by the report, has it been deployed and did it work? Well, that is the big question everybody wanted answered in relation to the Brexit referendum. Now, this report does not attempt to answer the question of whether it worked. In fact, they said it'd be pretty much impossible to answer that. But really stinging indictment of the UK government saying they hadn't even asked. They hadn't even gone to look into the details to see whether Russia had successfully influenced the referendum campaign. They said there was no equivalent look back as there had been in the United States after the 2016 presidential election. And a really stinging indictment here. The idea the UK was willingly looking the other way. Also saying that social media companies are failing to play their part. The report says MI5 should now be teaming up with social media companies to work out a strategy akin to that with terrorist content to take down posts that are known to be covert, national, international interference very quickly, setting a deadline for that. And the government should name and shame companies who fail to do that. Also at the bottom saying there should be more transparency when it comes to who is paying for the adverts we see on social media. Now, we reached out to the social media companies. The only one to get back to us in the Cube was Twitter. They say they use technology and humans, the old-fashioned way of doing things, to sift through everything on the platform, to identify any state interference and deal with it at scale. But to summarise this, Isabel, the report doesn't answer that question of whether there was successful interference, but it does say the UK wasn't looking for it. The UK wasn't prepared for it, and that Russia is a sophisticated cyber actor